What's going on, everybody? What's going on? All right, what's going on, everybody? We're trying a new thing with the lighting on today. Hopefully, you guys can. I know it's kind of dark, but we're gonna get a third lighting on the front. Uh, but hopefully, this is good.
Why you keep putting it so close? Jeez, no.
But what's going on, everybody? I don't know my wife over here tripping. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not. I'm
But what's
not.
going on, everybody? It's your boy TJ, and welcome to a fresh episode of TJ's 100% Real Talk. Just in a few seconds, we'll get started. I'm waiting till my wife kind of pull it up real quick.
Go ahead.
You ready for the intro?
It's TJ's 100% real talk. TJ's 100% real talk. Coming at you live with another fresh episode. Yeah, y'all know how it go. We apply the word of God to this thing we call life and leave you encouraged through the power of his might. So if you're married or single or just ready to mingle, turn your speaker up because it's time to chop it up. TJ's 100% real talk. TJ's 100% real talk. Coming at you live with another fresh episode. Yeah, y'all know how it go. We apply the word of God to this thing we call life and leave you encouraged through the power of his might. So if you're married or single, I just ready to mingle. Turn your speaker up because it's time to chop it up. TJ's 100% real talk.
What's going on, y'all? What's good? Already, it's a fresh episode of TJ's 100% Real Talk. Let us know you're there. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday night. What's going on? Oh, see, that's my wife. She's going hard. But it is Friday night, and it is the first Friday of February, the birthday.
Come on, February. Come on, February. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's the first. It's the first. Uh, first Friday in February, man, and we going hard today. It is Black History Month, and of course, it's my wife's birthday month. That's why she's so hyped. You know, Jeremiah's and my wife's birthday month.
Yeah.
So that's why she's so hyped right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why she's so hyped. But listen, guys, it's the first Friday in February, man, and we want to go ahead and get into this episode. And this was from some of the ideas that was given on the last show, on the last episode. And so,
y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh my goodness, you know.
No, I do.
What's good?
No, I saw it when you was typing the title. That was what I saw. Lord.
Okay, next time I will make sure I text you.
Oh, Lord. So if I'm quiet, that's why you know.
No, I will make sure I text you the title. Actually, if you can, while we are doing this real quickly, if you could look this page up here. If you can look this page, is called a critical race theory. Look that page up real quick.
That ain't the name of the page.
Yeah. So yeah, it's this one, crossingthedivide.org. Crossingthedivide.org. That's what it is. And it was an ad called "What is Critical Race Theory?" Yeah, so it was under that. So, however, I typed in this, and that's what came up. But okay. So, anyways, y'all, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's good? What's good? So, today's episode is we're gonna get into it since it's Black History Month, the first Friday in Black History Month, and we're gonna get into it. Is Black history a part of critical race theory? Is it? Is Black history a part of critical race theory? And me getting into that, uh, that's it right there.
No, it's not.
No, go up. But yeah, so that one is it?
No.
No. Oh, so yeah, so man, yeah, me getting into it and whatnot. So we
Keep talking.
okay, yes, ma'am. Happy heavenly birthday to Grandma. Rest in peace. Um, yeah. So is Black history a part of critical race theory? And I've done some research on critical race theory, and guys, I'm telling y'all, critical race theory is something else. Um, I was pretty ignorant of the subject, and I didn't know that that was a thing of something that was going on, and I didn't know that that was something going on, and I looked it up, and the stuff that goes on about the stuff that comes out of it is that's it. It's crazy, y'all. I can't really. I would Black history, it should be about how our people, the things they invented, and how they overcame adversity and division, but they were still able to be successful. And I believe Black history should be a about celebration of our people, of the things that they created, and the things that the things that they created, and the things that they done for us, and the ways that they paid. But when I was looking at the contents of critical race theory, and I was looking at the contents of that, and it is I was looking at the introduction here, and it says in recent years, critical race theory has become increasingly prominent in public debate, and is possibly one of the most contentious issues in American life, given that people on both sides view it as an
Essential.
essential, turning point for the ongoing culture wars. CRT has roots in an academic movement of civil rights scholars and critically examining laws and legislation, and how they intersect with race issues. Currently, much of the controversy surrounding CRT goes beyond its what is that validity as a concept, but whether schools in the United States should teach it to the young students. Opponents of CRT claim that its essential tenets are factually wrong and only divide the country, while proponents, thank you, dear, proponents believe it is an essential part of an historically aware education. As always, we will outline some of the most common arguments from each side. So,
if just
go
a
ahead.
quote where you're getting this from, this is from
CTV.
crossingthedivide.org. This is an article by Emiliano Garcia Lopez and Enoch Sanchez on critical race theory.
but yeah, so this article came up, and um, the contents of CRT. You want to read this one? It says from the belief.
Oh, this is from same article, but from the American Bar Association with Purdue University and Britannica. The belief that race is a culturally invented category used to oppress people of color. The law and legal institutions in the United States are inherently racist insofar as they function to create and maintain social, political, and economic inequalities between white and non white people. Rejection of popular understandings about race, such as arguments that confine racism to a few bad apples, quote unquote. CTR recognizes that racism is codified in law, embedded in structures, and woven into public policy. CTR rejects claims of mediocrity for color blindness, quote unquote. CTR recognizes that it is the systematic nature of racism that bears primary responsibility for reproducing racial inequality. And the last point under that is recognition of the relevance of people's everyday lives to scholarship. This includes embracing the lived experience of people of color, including those preserved through storytelling, and rejecting deficit informed research that excludes the oh epistemologies. That was a long word. People of color. You read this part too?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
So, but that's the against. But to be honest with you, to me, you know, critical race theory is more. It's more so like it's more so on the aggressive side. It's like yeah, it recognizes yeah of the history, but it's more so on the aggressive side of like the Malcolm X side. Hey man, this is this the system is messed up, and this is this the white man and has this area, and all this stuff. When you continue to read, and so the thing is like to kind of put that underneath Black history. It kind of, to be honest with you, what that does is it really kind of I would say detour from what Black history truly stands for. Because when you really think about it, when we look at Black history, we're looking at our leaders like Martin Luther King. We're looking at our leaders um, like Rosa Parks, Madam C.J. Walker. We're looking at people, and not only just them who did the civil rights, who fought against the civil rights, but we also looking at inventors who who didn't have everything on their side, but they still was able to invent. And critical race theory doesn't highlight any of that. It only highlights, well, yeah, there's racial issues there, or there's racial problems and everything. But I don't really believe that critical race theory should be labeled under Black history. I mean, what do you believe on that?
I haven't necessarily dived into this either. That's why I was like, really gonna be dumb about all this. But I have not necessarily heard to say that it's only Black history, and that's not what that was saying. That was just saying that we were reading was just the points, or the supposed to be the core of what they say that the core of seat of critical race theory is. That wasn't a for or against. That's just I guess the argument of topics that's been out. Um, Based off of the way the article continues, because they do have those that has the information for those that are against, and then those that are for it. But I know that is something that has been over the last few years. I want to say the earliest I saw on dates was, I think, was 2018. Of course, it's definitely been an issue since then, before then, but they have more so dived in, or not dived into. They have more so made it known now that of it being a thing that they're trying to remove, um, and things that they're trying to pull away from history, stuff that they're trying to talk, not necessarily pull away from history, but that they're trying to stop teaching in schools. And there are some, I want to, the college classes that have, and universities that have actual critical race theory classes, um, that are supposed to be being pulled out, or that they're trying to stop. I think that's it's. I remember. Oh, this is the other article that I was looking at before we started was that they were saying that some have already banned it. In some states, they have already banned it from their public schools curriculums. So it's a lot that's going on with it. It's a lot that's with it. Um, and it does date back as far as however far you can think of. I
Yeah.
mean, it's an issue that's been out, um, but it's just now more so coming to the forefront in the last few several years, of people, of them trying to change the curriculum, trying to change the core, the subjects of things that they're taught in schools, and trying to make it a broader perspective, or not give the whole truth, want to get part of the history and not tell it. And I think that's why people more so relate it with black history, and definitely fight for black history so much, besides the fact that they hardly, you hear about your typical leaders that we've always heard about since we grew up. uh, yeah, they want to sugarcoat history, basically. uh, so thank you for that. Nene, that was another way to put it, that they want to sugarcoat certain things in history. I want to say, no, let's not talk about that part. We're going to talk about this part. Um, they don't want to show. I've heard some people say that they don't want to show the role that white America or white people played in history, especially when it comes with blacks, especially when it comes to dealing with racism and all of that. They don't want to. Um, they want to try to eliminate that. They want to try to pull that out and
Yeah.
not focus on that. Let's look at it on a different angle. Um, they're trying to. I've heard that they're trying to water down history.
Yeah.
That's why people have a lot of issues with it. That's why there is a lot of issue, and it's coming out more and more every year. With it regarding critical race theory. Excuse me. Because it's being more prominent, it's being more put out there that all these different states and different lawmakers and all this and school systems are trying to pull certain things out of history that they don't want
They don't want people to know
to
about.
know about. And unfortunately, it unfortunately it stems a lot towards the point of history, point of time that it had to deal with blacks. Um, and I don't necessarily say that it's just because of black history, um, that they're trying to do it, but it's just period. And as you said, that you only hear about your main, or your typical leaders like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Ruby Bridges,
Rosa Parks and Harriet
Harriet Tubman,
Tubman.
Rosa Parks. You hear about those, but you don't hear all the time. You hear, and those are the main ones that you see when it comes to schools, um, doing Black history and all that stuff. Those are the main people you're gonna guarantee that you're gonna see and
Yeah.
talk about. And there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's others. And the thing that they said they're trying to eliminate all of that. They're
Right.
trying to push all of that out, trying to push it out the school systems as much as possible. Um, but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot with it.
I
Um,
mean, that's the positive side of it, but then the other side of it is where critical race theory is that they're trying to say that all people who are not black, who are the Caucasians, that they all are considered as, hey man, you have to pay for what your ancestors did. And so that part is like you can't make somebody pay for what their ancestors did, especially if that person is not racist today.
Right. And you
So
have those
but
that are
however, you can't. No, it's not right. I have to agree. It's not right to cover the stuff up in the education system because they're already the education system is already jacked up in multiple ways, and I know they're trying to slip certain things in, especially with the gender stuff. But they're trying to slip stuff in, but with the racial thing and everything, it's like I know they're trying to take certain stuff out where they should not do that. They should put more in because I know when I learned in school, earlier in my early day, I had learned that there were more black inventors back then, and a lot of the Caucasian people kind of stole their inventive ideas, but and not ideas, but things they created, and they took it like, oh, it's mine. Okay, yeah, you did that. Okay, but I learned about that. I even learned about what happened in Oklahoma about the black business strip. How back then, how the way black people, how they burned that down. But the thing about the critical race theory is
are you
how
talking about
is the
the Black Wall
the
Street?
Black Wall Street. Yeah, they had the Black Wall Street in Oklahoma, Tulsa, and so I just believe it's mostly their privilege. Then, yeah, and the thing is, I know today, I know we still struggle with racism in America, and it still does exist, and it's gonna exist. I did a video a long time ago, and I told people that, hey man, it's gonna exist till the end of time. But until Jesus come back, because unfortunately people are just ignorant, and the thing is that even with now, it's still a fight for us as Black people. Um, but for Black History Month, I really believe that Black History Month, the focus should not be on it shouldn't be on the fight for the against the system, because even though the system is jacked up against our Black brothers and sisters, it is, but it shouldn't. Black history should remind us of how we overcame. It should remind us that through adversity we can make it through.
But I think more so it's not that I th- that's part of it, excuse me. Excuse me. That golly, I got choked up. That it should be. I think it's nothing wrong with that being a part of it, but not the main focus. And our thing is that we have to learn how to combat those things
Yeah.
in a different way, because what could happen or should happen and what should have been happening all this time is spreading the knowledge of more uh things that Black people did,
Right.
spreading the knowledge of more of the history of the things that they, not only just inventors, but community leaders, those in politics, whatever the case may be, is spreading those more and putting those up to the forefront, because they're not going to be able to eliminate all of it.
Right.
And that's the thing, is that our job should be, or more should be, is to find different ways to combat it, other than just screaming and yelling and protesting, all that. That's good, but find other ways to keep it going.
Yeah.
Because the more you try to keep it going, the more you keep it alive. They're not gonna be able to stop it all.
No.
That's the whole thing. And then when we get our mindset to learn how to try different avenues, and then other than to just do what's expected or what we're used to doing,
Mm-hmm.
because there's always a saying, things won't change unless you change the way that you do things.
Right.
So if you don't do that and continue to fight that way,
Mm-hmm.
is my thing. Fight that way. Add that to the fight. So it's nothing wrong with making that or making that known during this time period, because that's what it's about
Mm-hmm.
to a degree, but that's not what it's all about.
All about.
As you said, you got to look at the whole Black history as a whole. I didn't realize what was talking like that. I just wanted to put my shirt on because it was Black history and it was purple and it was February, so that's why I just wanted to wear my shirt. But then we end up starting talking about that. but but learn other avenues, learn other ways, and use those people that did go before us as examples, how they handled things,
Mhm.
how how they approached it. We have more resources now. We have more ways that
Yeah,
we can do
it's
things
way
than what
different.
they did back then.
It's way different,
And what
y'all.
they did back then worked then, but and it could still some of it work now, but we have to remember times are changing.
Times are changing.
Things have changed, so we have to find and remember new ways to combat things. We can't keep doing things and then we get mad when stuff don't change. Or we get irritated when like, oh, they ain't listen, or we are no, we tried that ain't working. But you gotta keep evolving. Just
You
as
gotta
time
keep
evolving,
evolving.
you keep evolving.
Yeah.
Learn these things. Learn to get the knowledge, get the research, get the guidance.
Yeah.
Pray, ask God to order your steps to lead you on what to do and how to do it. Because if you keep doing the same thing, as I said, it ain't gonna nothing's gonna change.
Mm-mm. It's not. It's
And
gonna
they're gonna
keep the
find
same.
ways and they're gonna expel. Well, they gonna do this and okay, well they then you become predictable.
Yep.
So you gotta learn to do things uh in a way that they wouldn't expect.
And you have to make sure that, because even though we do have a justice system, and it does it's not really for our favor. It's really not. But it does work. It does work. But then like I say, everything is not blue and white. I mean, blue and red, and everything is not white and black. You know, some things you got to look into and make sure it's right. And and this even go into because it's uh these even go into to deep, because even Black History Month even have to deal with even our voting, even in everything that we do. And you have to go and you have to research for it yourself and see, hey man, what's really going on behind, because I'm gonna tell you something, people can use this critical race theory, they can use it for their own agenda and push something for their own agenda, and it's not even for your concern.
And that's in everything.
And
That's in
that's
everything, unfortunately, which is sad that there has to be a hidden agenda or
I'm
somebody's
telling you,
doing it, for selfish gain. And but that's how things happen.
and sometimes it be our own people.
Yeah.
We say, hey man, we gonna put them up there in office and everything, and they go up there with their own agenda. Yeah, okay, I'll support the black folks, but I make sure I come in with my own plan. And it's just like, man, it's like, we just have to make sure that, because like I said, when I was reading it, and it's like critical race theory, it does make sense, but then some of it is on the radical side. Um, some of it is on the radical side, but then you know some of it isn't, and it's just like you have to really look close and say, hey, But I don't mind teaching my kids, Black history and having them to learn and understand, But I don't want them to see things from the past and then begin to hate white people. That's not. I don't want them to do that.
So and that's
Or
the
to
thing is, and that's the most important thing is that, and the same thing with the way that that is taught in school, the way that stuff is presented in the school systems, the way that we teach them. It's the perspective. You're gonna teach them the whole thing. Are you just gonna teach them half? Or are you gonna teach them opinion? Are you gonna teach them how are you teaching? What knowledge are you giving? What's the purpose behind what you're telling them?
right.
Like you said, so it depending on, I mean, because I get like the same thing with that. Not to necessarily just completely, but this is similar to like this. They sent a letter home for the elementary for fifth grade, saying that they wanted to, that they were going to show a video, to
Oh
teach
man, I
fifth
was
to
suspect about this,
to
y'all.
teach fifth graders about how their body is going to start changing, physically, how the emotions and stuff that they're going to have, that they're going to start experiencing as they go into middle school, and they're,
Yeah,
they're supposed to be trying their best to prepare them for this next chapter in their life. But just the same thing with how we present history and how we present any topic. What's the motive behind it? What
right.
information are you sharing? So they were allowing parents an opportunity to view the video before they show it to the class, and then you can sign off if you want your child, excuse me, to be in there when they show the video, or if you want them, to not watch it. So I guess they'll send, whatever, the kids who are not who did not get the permission to be in there, to to have them do something else during that that uh that curriculum that they called it, um for them as they go over that. So that's the same thing, is that our duty as society, our duty as parents, our duty as aunties, uncles, just people, period, is to make sure that the information that we give to the next person is factual,
Yeah.
is not opinionated completely. Or if you're gonna give your opinion, say it's your opinion.
Right.
You know, uh, and the purpose of giving it is not to instill hate, not to instill uh uh negative things only,
Right.
because some of it is negative and some of it is positive. Um, and it ain't, and all of it ain't completely positive, and all of it ain't
Ain't
completely
completely
negative.
negative.
So it's knowing how to give a balance of information without withholding them for something that they need to know.
Right.
And that's the thing with this, is that they want to. And the other thing is that they're trying to, that some people say, are that critical race theory is to try to uh uh or outside of that, should we try to make this a colorblind society? That ain't gonna happen.
No.
You can't eliminate, you're not gonna eliminate
That's the
racism.
ones who are against. Now you can't make people colorblind.
Yeah, you're not, it's that's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
That's unrealistic, one.
It's very
um
unrealistic.
and the reason why it's unrealistic, because it's the type of society that we live in,
Right.
and it's been like that since day one. And and it's like, okay, well, it's not gonna ever be perfect.
Oh, my mic is off. Oh,
Let me
can
turn
you
my
hear me?
let me turn my
Yeah, I'm.
say.
Yeah, I'm coming through.
Yeah, so yeah, here's is, I just listened to it to make sure.
I'm coming through. I think. Yeah, I'm coming through. I see it on the. Yeah.
Okay, so say something.
Mic check 1 2.
No, yours not moving. Do it again.
Mic check.
Do it again.
Mic check.
Yeah, you're not as loud. I think yours is picking up through mine. Um, yeah, because as I'm talking, mine is moving now. Go ahead. Or did you just change it?
Mm-mm.
Mic check, mic check. Okay, yeah, mine is moving.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Yeah, and I can hear myself
Okay,
through
I
the
can hear it.
headphones.
That's all.
Yeah.
See, can you still hear Nini, or you might have to back out and get back in it. But yeah, but even going to some of the comments, Bob was saying to change the way we are seen and change the script, that it changes the script. And Nini was saying that knowledge is power. She said she could hear you now. Um, okay, I was gonna say what first. Oh, let me go back up. I'm sorry, I missed a couple. I missed the comment. Barbara was saying, in my day, we learned about everybody else's history except blacks, Indians. Look how we are portrayed in old movies. I think we should know our history. The 1619 projects. I just saw something about that.
Yeah,
And I was trying to see
somebody
what
just mentioned that. Yeah.
that was. That was on this article. I know I saw 1619
Yeah.
somewhere. So that was under. Okay, so let me see if it tells say what it is. Okay, so the first, for instance, so this article is saying, most for those that are pro criminal critical race theory. Every time I say CTR, that's what I'm just abbreviating, critical race theory. So most Democrats support CRT, especially its implementation in schools and special training. Validating it is validating it as a necessary wake up call to the racial inequalities within society. By realizing said inequalities, proponents argue that one gains self awareness of institutional, historical, and critical racism, something which yields individuals who cause positive change. For instance, the 1619 Project, originally a journal article that originally a journal article with the fundamental premise that America's founding was not in 1776 when the founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, but in 1619 when the first African slaves arrived, is a notion which Democratic sorry, my screen I went to sleep. Uh it's a notion which Democratic scholars believe to be a revolutionary historical retelling capable of manifesting awareness. Proponents also argue that CRT is a necessary addition to school curriculum since it can be used to dismantle systems of oppression. They note that students must see color to accept systematic racism, and that the idea of a colorblind society is an ahistorical and unrealistic project which will never come to pass. I agree with that.
Yeah.
The 1619 Project at the core aims to teach students that America was founded on slavery and racism. The lead journalist, Nicole Hannah Jones, desires to project a history more accurate than its predecessor. Uh, predecessor. She believes not incorporating the 1619 Project into schools' curricula would be denying students a look at history and its ramifications in the present day. As of February 12, 2021, the 1619 Project has been implemented into the curriculum of 4,500 schools with the goal of educating students on America's dark, skewed past.
Yeah, and everybody needs to know, what America did. How we came about, which is true.
And that's the thing. You gonna tell the whole truth. Stop telling part stories. That's why stuff be all messed up now.
Yeah.
And stuff be jacked up. People want to get, like they say, to get half the truth, or tell a white lie. Stop telling partial. Tell the whole thing. That's why I don't like watching little 30-second videos or minute, 2 minute videos of stuff that get posted, and then people be talking about that, and people be mad and stuff. No, I want to see the whole video. Tell the whole thing. Show the whole thing of what happened. The whole story. And there was something that I remember this meme that was posted of I think it was it Prince Charles or one of them, somebody from over there. It was one of them. I think it was Prince Charles. Uh that it was a meme that he did a hand signal. He was either throwing up peace or something, or however he was doing something like this or whatever. But the angle of which the picture was taken, and I don't know if it was photoshopped or not, but it just gives an example to say that different angles looking at the same thing can produce different results.
Mm-hmm.
So one picture it looked like he was giving everybody the finger, but on the other angle he wasn't. Mm-hmm. So it's like, dude, tell the whole thing. What angle are you looking at it? What perspective are you looking at this? Mm-hmm. Are you looking at the bigger picture? We was talking about that on one of our meeting last night. Look at the big picture. Look at the big picture, because just looking at things from one perspective and one viewpoint, one way, it's always going to produce that one way opinion. Right. It's always going to produce all of those all of those opinions going to produce opinion. And not to say that some of those opinions aren't true, could be true or supported. No, not that. But look at the whole thing, because we miss each other when we can't understand, when we don't get on one accord, when we don't see each other's views. But as far as it being completely a colorblind society, no, that it ain't, because it's always going to be that one.
Right.
It's always gonna be that one, no matter what it is, no matter what topic, no matter what issue. It's always gonna be that one that's gonna be like, bruh, that's gonna stir up stuff. So it's always let me go back to some of these comments. So Gwen Slicer says, if we are going to teach our kids to do better, let's try to challenge them to become leaders in office so that they could be strong leaders. Education is the key.
And, right. And good, strong leaders, not emotional leaders, not, leaders who depend on emotion or just trying to win the crowd so they can have their own agenda, but leaders that's gonna be for the people. Because at the end of the day, and first of all, a leader who trusts God for one, and then a leader who knows their stuff, that knows, hey, I know what I'm doing, and I'm trusting in God. We're gonna move forward with it, because too many times, man, we just depend on these people that are throwing these false imaginations out there, and people are saying, "Oh man, I hope you do this," and they don't end up doing the exact opposite, and we living through that right now. And so it's like we have to understand that when we're gonna raise our kids in a society like this, we have to make sure, yes, teach them history, yes, but when you teach them history, let them know this is history. It's not today, but this is history. But just because and it does, because I remember when I looked at movies back then, when slaves used to get beat and stuff, I used to get angry. I used to get upset. I'd be like, man.
But you know what? That's all that you see,
But
and that's all that they presented,
that's all they
and
present
that's
in the movie.
probably was the goal.
Yeah, to get
Was
you upset.
was to get you upset and
But
irritated.
at the end of the day, though, it does. It has a point to it.
Mm-hmm.
But with the kids, with kids, man, when you're teaching them these things, because back then, man, like I said, in my curriculum in school, they only taught us Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Rosa Parks and Madam C.J. Walker, and who was the other one they taught us in middle school?
Yeah, Garrett A. Morgan,
Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass,
Um,
um, some of their names. That's come Thurgood Marshall.
yeah, Thurgood Marshall.
Um,
Who's another name?
then later on you got Ruby.
What's his name? Colonel.
Colin Powell.
Colin Powell.
Yeah, you had to have those, but there's so much more. There's so much more. I mean, thank God for those, knowing those. Yeah, thank God for knowing those and hearing those. Like, matter of fact, the boys got each one of them have a person to do for Black History, and for a church. So a couple of them are, I think two of them are past, because it's yeah, two of them are past leaders, and then two are current, are ones that are still around today. Uh, and when I read one of the names, they was like, "Who is that?" And at first, I didn't know who it was. I had to really think about it. I was like, "Oh!" I had to Google it, because you don't hear enough about them, and you don't know enough about them. And then people, we wait until, and I think that's part of the problem too, is that we wait until the person is gone. We wait until the person is no longer here to try to recognize them, as people say, get them their flowers. We wait until the person is dead and gone. And then that's when we find out, oh, that person did that. What? Yep. Like, that's I don't remember what the person's name was, but as people were sharing a couple of years ago over through Facebook or whatever, they were sharing, they'll post a picture of somebody and say what they did or whatever. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Black guy that had something to do with some component of the cell phone. And it's like stuff that you don't hear about, stuff that you don't know that they had influence on. The ladies that were because they did a movie about them. It was the three, I think it was the three Black women. One was a mathematician. I can't remember the other. Taraji Henson. Excuse me. Taraji Henson played one of the ladies. I think she was a mathematician. One of them was with NASA, or they work with. It was three Black ladies. All of them were in different areas. I cannot remember the name of that movie. But then you heard about those for a little bit. You heard about or you hear about Mae Jemison, the first Black female to go into space, or first Black female astronaut. You'll hear about those a little bit here and there, and a lot of them you don't hear about enough that you forget who they are. And like you say, you don't hear about them until after they go.
Yep. That's true. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela was always one too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we had a little we had a little it was we call it was a Nelson Mandela Freedom Bear. And it was it was real dark chocolate, real dark black bear. And he had a yellow shirt on that said I think it said Freedom Bear or something, Nelson Mandela, something it had on there to represent him in Africa. And he had a little yellow hat. I can picture the little bear now. But I just thought about that when she said that. But you have those that are either like they on their last legs, they might be on their last little few years of life, and then that's when you start hearing about them instead of hearing about what they're doing now. Instead of hearing about your current ones, instead of hearing about those that you don't hear about that often. That's why I wanted to. I was hoping um that whatever was presented, whether they do it in school or at church or wherever, that they end up. Thank you, Hidden Figures. Yes, thank you. I
Hidden
could not
Figures. Yeah.
think of the name of that movie at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. That's what it was.
But
Oh yeah,
oh
Carl
yeah,
Lewis.
Carl Lewis. That's
Yeah,
when you hear
Carl
about
Lewis.
all your sports people.
Carl
Uh,
Lewis.
and who? Flojo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so now that you when
Yeah.
she said now them other names, see that's how it should be. That when we start hearing names, that it makes us regulate, make us think on others, that pull out other things, other people that we forgot that we learned about. But I bet you if you ask some of these kids now, they don't want to know who none of these people
Well,
are.
see, that's the thing, and that's the problem. That's and see, that's why I say, like, back then, these people had to fight, yo. They had to fight to get where they were. And black kids today, I'm telling you, dude, I understand that people still say, man, society's still against us. Society still, man, y'all need to look at some of these people background and see that they had everybody, especially Carl Lewis, because that boy, he had to run in over there. He was back there in the Hitler days. And so, no, I'm thinking about Jesse Owens.
I was like, Carl, yeah, you taking Carl
Yeah,
Lewis back a little bit too far,
but
saying the
no, I'm
Hitler
thinking
day.
about but even Jesse
But he
Owens.
still had, I'm sure
But
they
even
still
Jesse
had
Owens,
stuff they had to
because
deal
he
with.
had to deal with that. He had to deal with all that racism stuff. He had to deal with all that stuff. And sometimes, man, we don't look at these. And then too, they also put out there. They did a movie called 42 on Jackie Robinson too.
Yeah.
And so these people, it's like, man, we have moved far from where we were. But even though it's racism still out there, still black kids have an opportunity now. We have an opportunity to get out there and make change, but we have to encourage one another and not just be a zealot, but we have to encourage one another. We have to make sure that hey, man, come on, because man, I'm gonna tell you something, and I'll just use it as an example. You know what Jesus did? He got his disciples was from every corner, every corner, every corner. And Simon, not Simon Peter, but Simon was a zealot. And he was on the way to kill a Roman soldier because he hated the Romans. Like, man, I don't want to be, I'm going there to kill the Romans. But he also believed that the Messiah was coming. But he thought Jesus was going to come to overthrow the Romans. But Jesus was like, hold on. Why don't you come follow me instead? And so the thing about that is that even Jesus knew his intentions. He still changed his heart. And that's what I'm saying. Like with us as black people today, we understand that, hey man, these Caucasians, man, they did us bad back then. But now you have to have a heart to show compassion, and then have to have a heart to say, hey, because I know a lot of black people are like, man, I ain't showing no compassion. Bunk that, screw that, bunk that. We gonna keep it divided. Well, okay, we'll keep that same energy. But the thing is, man, it's better to have a heart. That way, when you get out there, doors are open for you. Doors are open for you to where you'll be able to get up to higher levels. And that's what people have to understand about that. It's not always about it's just it's just about my people, But even though we want to lift our race up and show each other that we can do it, but we also have to work with other cultures as well.
Yeah.
We also have to do that as well, and we also have to make sure that uh, that even one thing I like about Martin Luther King is that him and blacks and whites were able to work together to bring peace. They were able to work together. Now, all whites didn't agree with him, but some did, and they walked with him and marched. So we have to make sure that as we're teaching our kids, to make sure we let them know that, hey, everybody's not the same. But when you run across somebody like that, God bless, I'm moving on. And as a matter of fact, is she talking about Sheila Lee Jackson?
Sheila Jackson Lee.
Okay. But she said Sheila Lee, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we just have to make sure that we understand and everything and put things in perspective. Because I know some families, man, they'll get out there and they'll just, put out there, that, hey man, the white man holding me down, and the white man control the system, and I'm just like,
we gotta change our way of thinking. We have to.
You can't give a white man that much power, bro, because they don't have that much power.
They don't. You give them as much power as you allow them to have. Yeah. You give somebody as much power as you allow them to have, and that the way that you thinking like that, that's how they want you to think. Because that's gonna keep you from doing what you need to do, from you being great, from the greatness unlocking in you, from you doing right, for you to be someone that can make a change and make a difference and make an impact. You got that mentality, you got that perspective, that attitude, that you giving them exactly what they want to do.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this: just because a person is trying to strategically keep you in a place, don't mean that they over you. They just strategically trying to do it, but they don't mean that they're over you. What you have to let them know is, oh brother, I got God on my side. We're gonna get this rolling, and doors gonna open. And that's what I'm saying. Like we have to just understand that. We have to understand that God is on our side, that God makes the way. That's the same thing that happened with that happened with Joseph when he got thrown in the dungeon or whatever, because claiming,
by his own brothers,
by his own brothers, got sold into slavery. But still, when he went to Egypt, he got thrown into prison because the wife lied on him, so he had to throw him in jail. Not Joseph's wife, but the wife of I can't think of his name. Lord have mercy, I don't want to mispronounce it. But still God made a way for the king to have a dream, and then he came out, and then later
it still needed Joseph
he
anyway.
was his second in command. Everybody had to go through Joseph. The only person was the Pharaoh over him, and he brought the children of the people of Israel into the land of Egypt. And of course, that's how it started. But I'm just saying, God make ways. And so he made ways for people. He made ways for Harriet Tubman. He made ways for everyone. And so, we just have to make sure that we telling our kids that one, God is in control. Not the white man, but God is in control. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at it today, if you look at Houston is a diverse city anyway. Mm-hmm. And, everybody lives here. So everybody. But, as long as we teach our kids that, oh man, you got to get through the white, they ain't gonna let you in here, and they ain't gonna let you, man, if you want to go to Yale, you can go to Yale. If you want to go to any college you want to go to, you can get in. As long as you put forth your effort in your grades, in your education, you can do it. But you don't have to teach your kids that, man. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, man. And you try to teach them, man, that's ignorance. It's ignorance. You have to teach your kid to be better. Teach them to be better, man. Teach them to be better. And so But I just believe that that's what Black History Month should be. Black History Month should be the highlight of our people triumphing over adversity of slavery. It should be, and not only slavery, but racism too. It should be us. We are we are, we are a very blessed race.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of black people wouldn't say it, but we blessed.
That's because
Seriously,
they focus on negative too much.
we blessed. We are
That's
blessed.
the same thing within our lives. We focus on the negative too much. The enemy puts that, tries to make that be forefront in your life, try to make that be at the forefront of your mind, to have you focused on all the negative, all the bad that's going on, when there's so much good right in front of you. When there's so much good that you can be focused on and enjoying and indulging in, but he tries to get you to get so focused on all the negative. So why? It can change your perspective, keep you bound. It can get you into depression, always walking around with anger, being bitter. All of these things come when you focus on the wrong thing.
Yeah,
When you can't get your mind focused on God and don't stay focused on Christ, on the positive, on the good things, then all that other stuff begins to clog your mind.
yeah, and that's how most of our people made it back then, by keeping their mind focused on Christ.
Right. Because and they had hope, they had faith.
They had
They
faith.
they knew they knew that it wasn't gonna be like that always. And they tried and they did something about it. They did what they could about it. Some gave up hope, some gave up loss, some took their own selves out. Some did all these things, but those that really triumphed and survived was because they had God leading them,
Yeah,
because they had their hearts and minds focused on good, on not being bound by their situation, not being chained by their situations, not being in bondage by their situations, that they did what they felt was they fought the good fight.
yeah,
They fought the good fight. They put their faith out there and did what they needed to do, did what they had to
yeah.
do what
They
they
did.
could do. But if we would all la la think like that and be like that, the world would be a whole better place, whole better place, whole different place.
But unfortunately, you always gonna have those idiots. You're always gonna have those who want division, who want to keep it separate. You're always gonna want that. And you're always gonna want that. Did you know that only black women carry the Eve gene? No, I did not know that.
What's the Eve gene?
I don't know what the Eve gene is.
What's the Eve gene?
She boy, I want to know what the Eve gene
Let me my Google.
is.
Like, what is the Eve
I
gene?
don't know what that is.
So let me see what this is, because I ain't never heard of that. Hold on, it came up too. Hold on. Oh, Eve gene. Is Eve gene and Eve gene theory supposed to be the same thing? Okay, it is. Oh, hold on. Mic all in the way. Well, I don't even know if that's a. Hold on. That might not be a legit website. Okay, so some stuff say that it's a myth. I'm trying to see what. Okay, let me see if this is a legit. Yeah, so this is supposed to be from HMS dot Harvard. So Harvard Medical School, harvard.edu, and see what this one say. So, oh, okay. So this they're showing an AI model of the Eve that shows capacity to interpret meaning of human gene variants as benign or disease causing. So no two human beings are the same. A biological system. Okay, so I guess that's supposed to be okay. Okay, so that has something to do with okay. So the Eve gene. Okay, so Eve is called evolutionary model of variant effect. So that has something to do with a gene that carried the gene to say that you got disease or what was the other one that said?
But the other one did say a theory though.
Oh, benign or disease causing. Yeah, this is from
the first one said something about the Book of Genesis.
Yeah, that's why I was like, which one is it? Because if that's what she was meaning as far as the Eve gene, that's taken on the medical end of it from, and that was what I was looking at was Harvard, uh, hms.harvard.edu. Um, that's an article all about the Eve gene.
I saw one.
Uh,
I saw Genesis somewhere.
I did see that when
it's all the way up top. That one, yeah. Reference to
let
the
me
story
see.
of the creation of
Lord,
Genesis.
let this be a okay website. Oh, that's under maintenance. Never mind.
Boys say they
Can't even click on that article. Okay, let me see what this one just say if this gives it a So this one says, "Ooh, she pretty. Got a little chocolate lid on the side of it."
The Eve gene does not necessarily
For verification of Eve. Okay, so it says, what does the Eve gene mean? For clarification, the Eve gene does not necessarily reference the first female human or of any species, but it is more accurately used to refer to the most historically recent female from which humans can trace their ancestry. Oh, okay. See, all this is that is one thing. The other one said it was something about being able to detect disease or benign things. This was okay. Does the Eve gene even exist in human genetics? Okay, that's a long one. No. So they say that this is a possible. Okay, so maybe this is why. So this says that the possible place of origin is East Africa.
Actually, it's Ethiopia.
For the gene?
Yeah,
they talking about for the gene.
No, dude, that's where the Garden of Eden was.
No, you talking about the whole Garden of Eden. So you going from that one. I'm talking about this next thing.
I'm going off the word. It was in
That's interesting. We'll have to
when they got kicked out, they were in Ethiopia.
Oh, so I guess okay, that has something to do. A lot of these that keep going is questions asking can DNA be traced back to Eve, to Adam and Eve? How old is the Eve gene? So it's a whole bunch. I've never heard of that. That's something interesting to look into. Huh?
God blew air into Adam and then put him to sleep and took his rib and created woman. Thank you.
But no, it said, can you trace it back to them? So they saying going all your DNA testing and stuff. Can you get that far to go all the way back?
Will be.
You know how much tracing that'll be doing? Yeah. You know how many family members?
First will be traced back to Noah first. Then from there you'll be traced back to Adam.
Father Abraham had many sons. How many sons had Father Abraham? Oh. I am one of them, and so are you. So y'all remember that song from Vacation Bible School? Yes, we do. And Sunshine Band and Sunday School.
Sunshine Band?
You don't know about Sunshine Band? No. Dude, okay. Sunshine Band was like okay, like Samuel's age, Samuel and Ezekiel age, kids that was around that age. That they was called the Sunshine Band. So that's what most of the time they wore, well, Kojic wise, they wore Kojic because I'm saying Church of God Christ. They wore the yellow and black. That was Sunshine Band colors. So that's how they learned a lot of their stuff. A lot of the stories and scriptures and songs was through the songs through Sunshine Band. See, so she could just be laughing at me because of my silly. But that was the thing. That was one of the songs. And then you had a little Father Abraham. How many sons? And then you go through this. Let's just praise the Lord. Right on, Father Abraham. And you go through all your body parts. Right arm, left arm, right foot, left foot. Nod your head, turn around, and sit down. And that was supposed to wear you out, basically. That's what they thought they was slick. So they was trying to make you do exercise. Like hokey pokey, you put your right arm in, put your left. That was the Kojic hokey pokey. It was the Father Abraham song.
We did that.
But yeah, anyway, we got on that. I was like, how we even get on that? But no, but that's interesting. I've never heard of Eve Jean, so thank you. I'm trying to remember
Yeah,
to
we
look that up.
did. Yeah, Nina, I remember we did that in Bible school. Yeah, we did that. We did that, and then we did JESUS. I said JESUS.
There, the Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. The Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. 'Cause you're easy. Yeah, you heard it. Oh, yeah, but you're easy. You're easy to love. There's that. Oh, how do you spell relief? JESUS. Yeah, I do that. How do you spell relief? JESUS. The J is for Jesus, the E is eternal, the S is salvation, and the rest is for us. See, all that stuff, Sunshine Band. Sunshine Band. What was what was it called? We had to go back and we had oh my god, um, it was right before Sunday night service started. YPWW. There you go. Young people, willing workers. That was like the teenagers and the young folks.
We are soldiers in the
we are soldiers in the army. We have to fight. I know we have to go. So we have to hold up the blood, stay better. Oh, that was drill team. Because I was about to do it. I was about to do the drill team motion.
Yeah, we was going hard though. We would march around the sanctuary and do it.
Yes, that was awesome. Matter of fact, we did that song. Speaking of, our drill team went to the state capitol and for Austin one day when there was a whole thing. Those Sylvester Turner, Sheila Jackson Lee, all that stuff. That's how we first, or when we first met them, or one of the first couple of times we met them.
Sylvester Turner.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
No.
Talking about back in the day when you were a kid.
Yes, when he was not mayor, when he was just in Congress at the time. We had a day at the Capitol that it was like I think it was like 10 of us. There was like 10 different drill teams, but we went Mount Airy, which was that was like our rival drill team. Because we had a competition in that was our rival drill team, Mount Airy, and we had these toy soldier uniforms. Y'all couldn't touch us though. Y'all couldn't touch them sanctified soldiers. But anywho, but we did that. We sung that. Whatever. We sung that at the Capitol. We did that song. And matter of fact, ask Dre. What a picture.
We went off.
Dude, man, we was a boy, them sanctified soldiers. You couldn't touch us, man.
We went off.
You couldn't touch us.
We went off.
Right, you could not touch us. Come on, and then one. Come on, man. National champions, baby. Well, we were second place. But still.
Yeah, thank you, Nene. We went off. Yes, we did.
Whatever, though. Y'all ain't step up against them sanctified soldiers, though. Dude, and then when almost your whole doggone family is the drill team. But it was lit. Over half the drill team was us. We was good. All the cousins.
I think we did. It was me, both my sisters, two of my cousins. Yeah, I think I was, and then it was Claude too. Claude was in it, but I think it was me and Claude in it.
We did step team. We did step team after that. After all the older folks that was in the drill team left, they got too old to be stepping the things. That's when step team came about. Because Nene was telling y'all had step team. We had drill team first, then we did step team.
Oh no, we had step team.
No, but them drill team days, boy.
We went hard.
Matter of fact, dude, you know what? Yeah, that just gave me an idea. Y'all, Yep. But add today Black History performance.
That stuff was, man, it was fun, man. That 13 was fun. But you know what? That's part of Black history.
It sure is.
That is actually part of, we danced off of perfect.
Oh my God. Oh, I gotta tell y'all what y'all mama did the other night. Oh my God. I wish I had a video. I was showing the boys some steps that this is young step group, young steppers, Jesus group of boys. And they did some song that she said y'all stepped off of. And then she just started came on. She came in and she started doing all that. I said, oh, she was trying to get it. She was trying to get it. Oh, I wish y'all would have had a video. Oh my God. But that was hilarious. She tried to get it. She was going hard. She was going in. But that's the type of stuff that like the kids for the Black History be teaching.
Yeah.
Teach that stuff too, because they find out about all these fraternities and sororities and stuff. But what's the history behind them? Some of them just want to get into it just because, I can say I'm a part of a fraternity and sorority. But learn the history behind it. Learn what that each one of those organizations did, not just fraternity as a whole, but each one of them. Learn what the root of all that stuff. Root of all that stuff came from African dancing.
Yeah.
So you got to take it all the way back. You go to let them know the good and the bad with the history. Let them know what developed, what came from this, from that. So the African dancer came stepping, gained the brotherhood, the sisterhoods, all these fraternities and sororities and stuff. So it's so much that we can pull from history to relate to the kids today that they see, and they don't realize that stuff stemmed from. But I'm hook. Ooh, them ideas flowing now, y'all. Them ideas flowing now. I'm gonna get them together for they love for their performance. We gonna get them. We gonna get them going. We gonna get them going.
Oh, she's saying that the program was discovered by PVAM University.
What program?
The Eve program.
Oh,
The Eve gene. So she was saying to look that up. Look that up there, and everything. But guys, it has been a time well spent. We saying Mary Mac.
what? Oh, Miss Mary Mac,
Yeah,
Mac. Just said Black. But see, you see how you reminisce over these things. Reminisce over the history, over the Black history, and just no, but seriously though, yeah, this this is very interesting. Very very interesting episode.
Yeah, it was, man. And I like I say, man. At the end of the day, though, Black History Month, I wouldn't say critical race theory does have some part, but like I said, I still believe Black history should be even more, not even just about inventors, but even dancers, poets, everything about what people you learn to that they actually did what they did in the midst of adversity, and even in the war, in the army, and everything.
The songs they sang, they kept them going.
Yeah, they kept them going.
I used to say the songs that grandma used to sing, or the prayers that grandma used to pray. They had some songs and prayers back there that kept them going.
But it's just to teach us one thing that critical race theory it does has its ups and its downs. And it is you should teach your kids about what happened and how racism did begin in America, how we did come over here, how we got treated badly, but also teach the other side. Teach about what our Black people did, and so that's what I take from it and everything, and that's why I celebrate Black History Month. Just to know it even encourages me to be a better father on how to teach my kids on how to do what's necessary. So listen, guys, time is well spent. It is almost 8:30, so it's time. We're gonna end this episode right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna catch you guys next Friday. And I'm looking at some equipment, so get ready for a change. And we're gonna have some guests on here pretty soon. I'm gonna be making some schedules as soon as I get the equipment up and running and making sure everything run correctly. We're gonna be getting some guests on here pretty soon. But stay tuned for next week's episode. I'm going to be leaving a video probably on TikTok or either on YouTube or however I'm going to be doing it, just to give you guys the intel on the next episode. But listen, guys, you guys enjoy your Black History Month. Encourage somebody. Get out there and encourage somebody with the love of the Lord and let them know, hey, man, look, God loves you and you can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens you. Just remember that and know that God did it for them before you. He can do it for you as well. So, guys, y'all stay blessed, man. And, this was an interesting episode. I'm glad we kind of touched in some of these, in some of the topic and everything about it. Because again, I wanted to get a little bit into Black history because this is Black History Month. But the next episode, I'm gonna let y'all know what we talk about next week. So, guys, stay blessed.
Before he hit go live.
Yes, and I will let her know. She's gonna know.
Before he hit go live,
she's gonna
Jesus.
know. She's gonna know.
Lord, lay it on his heart, Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah.
So, guys, stay blessed. Enjoy your Friday, and then until we meet again, peace.
Peace. Oh, yeah, matter of fact, take some of that, put that right now.
Really?